We're so glad you're back. We missed you, Steph.
Yes, we did.
But
Yes,
you were
we
on an
did.
amazing trip. Tell us about your family's trip to Alaska.
We did something very cool, and I really appreciate my mom for kind of driving this idea. We took a multi-generational, so my mom, my husband and I, and my 2 children to Alaska to celebrate my daughter graduating from high school, because you know, once they go off, it's hard to get them back. So we went to Alaska and we did it via cruise. So I wanted to share some pictures, because I know a lot of our viewers either have done Alaska or want to. We flew into Anchorage. We drove from Anchorage to Skagway to get on a ship, and you immediately start seeing mountains and crystal clear blue waters, and the temperature was in the 60s. I mean, just a very different experience. We did this through the Celebrity Millennium. There are numerous cruise ships and lines that work through Alaska, but they're all smaller ships, so you can get to this, the glaciers. This is Hubbard Glacier. We literally sailed within feet of the glacier. When a glacier breaks apart, as you see that piece of ice in the front of that photo, it's called calving. And while our ship was there, the very talented captain steers it 360 several times right up against the glacier. You hear it calve. It sounds like a massive clap of thunder, and you wait, and it was, okay, we hear it, where is it? And then all of a sudden a big chunk falls off. I'm not going to get into global warming, but I will tell you, when you see it and hear explained and look at a mountain and see, well, that all used to be ice just 10 years ago, and now it's not. And I thought, wow, all right. I mean, it's just a very visual realization that our world is changing no matter what the realization is. So we did a lot of glacier things. Now, when you take a multi-generational trip, you have to try to keep the noisiest common denominator happy, and those would be teenagers. So what I had said to my mom, who did all the planning, active, active, active. We were exhausted by the end. So after we did the glaciers, you realize very quickly in Alaska, to get up close to anything takes a lot of work. So this is a whitewater rafting trip.
Oh my goodness.
We suited everybody up. My mom is such a trooper because we paddled the rapids. We did our own work. My husband, also a trooper, wasn't so sure he wanted to do this. It's very cold. If you fall in, there was an immediate emergency procedure. The water was 34 degrees. You'll be hypothermic in moments. But this was the goal, to get to Mendenhall Glacier. So you can do it on kayak, you can do it on whitewater raft, and when you are willing to take these adventures, you get closer. We were able to touch this glacier. To get there, though, it took not only the cruise ship, another boat ride, a bus ride, a hike, and then a canoe trip. Because apparently when we were planning, I said I wanted to touch a glacier. They were a little tired of my desire to do that, but that is an incredibly cool thing. And then there were sea lions. Everywhere you looked, they're like Labrador retrievers in the water. They bark, and there were babies, and you could see them fighting and chasing. I mean, just the cutest thing ever. So the wildlife is amazing. And the highlight of the trip, the bear.
The bear.
We got within petting distance of a bear. So we went off on an ATV. This was the day Mom went whale watching. She said she didn't want to be jiggled around in the ATV. That was probably a good choice, because teenage boys are rough. He wanted to off-road and be wild. Well, here was the payoff. Brown bears within petting distance. We were taking selfies. You're probably not supposed to get this close. The bear literally looked up to say, yeah, whatever. You don't do anything for me. But we got the shot that we were looking for. Alaska is a wonderful place. It is not easy to get to. It takes a lot of effort, but well worth it. I have never seen anything like it.
Did the kids like it?
The kids did like it. And from teenagers,
If
you can please a teenager, life is good. But I definitely say older kids. Teenagers and above. Nope. It's a tough trip. It really is.
Well, we missed you, but it looks like it was well worth you being
well
gone.
but
we're
nice
glad
to
you're
be
back. And we're glad to see the pictures.
Yeah,
All
it's
right.
fun to share.
When we come back, we're going to figure out how we can turn Dad into a rock star with Music Compound.